Ori! I thought I had lost you to Kuro's talons of hate, but it was Guma who saved you, delivering us from an uncertain fate. Nice rhyme. But look here! With the Ginso tree restored, Nibel's waters are clear! But there's no time to lose. We must make haste. The element of wind's next. Mumiston is, resting deep within the forlorn ruins. Inside the misty woods, there's a key that will open their gates. That's way the hell over there, holy. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Ori and the Blind Forest! Last time, we climbed the Ginso tree and restored the element of waters, and then we needed to escape the waters before it drowned us. I guess the water is a collective, species, a bunch of different, animals all at once. I guess it technically is with algae and all that. This time, we're in a new area of the Thornfelt Swamp, and as you can see, the waters are clean and swimmable now. This happened because we restored the element of waters. Now, every body of water throughout the game can be swam in. I love this, and I think games need to do this more often. Having the main objective actually affect the rest of the world that changes gameplay. Like, this is the only game I know of that does something like this. There's probably another game I'm forgetting, but usually it's just a visual change, or it's like a new ability you have, which I guess is good enough, but something that affects the whole world, I've never really seen before. Go to the pause menu, you can see world events. Those is marking our progression of the main quest, and as you can see, the element of waters is highlighted down there. So that is indicating that, yeah, all of the water throughout the rest of the game is clean and swimmable in now, despite the water actively trying to kill us up there. It's really cool. It's one of the best things this game does, for sure. Okay, we have a little charge flame thing up there, and that will allow all the water from up there into this room, which will let us climb up to get this spirit light container. It will not let us go up there at the moment, though, so. Alright, let's save and let's head back out. The swimming controls are very similar to an old Genesis game called Echo the Dolphin. You may have heard of it. I actually did play it when I was younger. Some of you might be surprised to know, but I did grow up with the Genesis when I was younger. Pretty sure the first video game I ever played was Sonic 2. It could also be Sonic 1. I don't know. There's a little pocket of air right here, which is good because our air runs out extremely quickly. Again, similar to Echo the Dolphin. These things can actually be destroyed. I remember, I think everyone I watched play this game, like, doesn't know that you could destroy those, but you can destroy those. You can also hold down the jump button to swim faster. That's what I'm doing right now. There's a secret pocket in here. If you can maneuver your way through here, it's actually pretty hard to do. The spikes hitboxes are bigger than they would seem. You can get that. Oh, wait, I have 2 ability points. Let's spend them. Okay, what can we get? Ultra Light Burst. Okay. I think I might settle for energy pickups reward 50% more energy, so they now give us 1.5 orbs instead of 2 orbs like the health upgrade does. These 2 upgrades don't really seem to do much for us. I guess we can burst some light. We might be finding out the answers to what those things do very soon. Heal you. There's something over here. Yeah, yep, there's a keystone. There was a locked spirit gate up above. I didn't really explore up above very much, which I think I should do. Not going through that. I think there's an air pocket right afterwards, so I'm just gonna hope that there is. If you run out of air, you'll start taking damage, so you won't immediately die. But of course, since this is Ori, you'll probably take damage really fast and then eventually die. Heal you. These are more of those slimes whose projectiles can't hurt you in the air, but they stick to walls. Might as well save again. What's past here? Aha, mapstone fragment. We haven't seen a mapstone, but we can do that one. I think if you were to surface and go onto land really quick after getting it, okay, it doesn't, but it might actually show them, you've got a mapstone fragment message. But while you're underwater, they don't have any animations for that, so they're just like, yeah, don't play the animation. Don't play the message at all. Sneak through the spikes for some air. risk your life for some life. That doesn't make much sense. These fish can be surprisingly hard to avoid, so just try to attack them before they can have a chance to see you. Okay, now here, let's go to the left. To the left is, oh dear, it's one of you. I don't really know what to call you, but you look like a rhinoceros, so I think I might call you that. A little rhinoceros. Probably a lot smaller than a rhinoceros would be, although I don't know how this world scales to real life. Insert the mapstone fragment. Let's see what we... Oh, okay. We actually did get a lot. But if we had gone over here first, it would not have appeared on the mapstone because we would have already filled it out, and then it would have just been this. And it would have been the least eventful mapstone I've ever seen. Okay, we got some unstable ground here that doesn't break. Excuse me, sign. And more unstable ground that doesn't break with an ability cell underneath. I just love that introduction to the unstable ground. It's just like, be careful, Ori. It's unstable. It might break if you step on it, but like, it doesn't do anything. You need an ability to get rid of it. Or you need an enemy nearby. Either one. Alright, with the 2 keystones from that water area, we're going into this next one. This is the closest Ori gets to a water level, so if you were worried, don't worry. There's not that much swimming in this game. There is a bit. I mean, you will have to swim around in quite a few pools to get everything in this game, but there's no whole, like, dedicated water level where you're stuck swimming around with a lack of oxygen. This game isn't completely like Echo the Dolphin, so no need to worry about that. Hello. Okay, that way opens if we kill an enemy. Maybe that enemy is this guy? Oh, no, not quite. But this guy will allow us to bash our way up here with the ever so amazing bash ability. I love it so much. Give me more. I see that, ancestral tree. I see that. We are on the way. Consider me here, because I'm here.
Elo was the stoutest of all the spirits, the most powerful ever seen. Now here he rests, turned into an ancestral tree.
Guess he wasn't that powerful after all. Sorry, Elo. Let's see what made you so special and so powerful. You've learned Stomp. To use this ability, press A to leap in the air, then down to dive powerfully towards the ground. Hey, you're ripping off Mario! Does that mean Elo was Mario this whole time? Okay, no. So, yep, Stomp breaks these unstable floors here, so you can use this to open new paths or just find new shortcuts. You know, what Metroidvania abilities usually do. There's an unstable ground right there, but we can't reach. We're on the wrong side of it. So unfortunately, unless this guy would like to pop out and maybe allow us the opportunity to bash his projectile up there, which it doesn't seem like he's going to give, then I don't think we have anything we can do here. Except for this. These little posts can be stomped, and for putting them in the ground, they are a switch that opens up a gate. You can't stomp them entirely into the ground, unfortunately, but you can get close enough. Stomp is also an attack, which can be used on one of these guys. It's a way to get rid of their shell for free. Stomp attacks don't cost any energy whatsoever. You can also keep doing them, and it deals a lot of damage. It's actually a really, really strong attack, so we might want to use it throughout the rest of the game. I was pondering it over in between sessions, and I think that if you were to do a run of this game without collecting any of the ability tree abilities, it wouldn't be that much harder since the Stomp and the Charge Flame do exist and are really strong. You can also break right through that damaged bit of log to get a Spirit-like container. I believe that was a small one, gave 100. I'm not sure. The giant ones give 200. I think the large ones give 150. I could be wrong about that, though. And now you know what we can do over here. I think we can also stomp. Yeah, we can also stomp directly on him, although it doesn't do that much more damage. I got 69 Spirit Light. That fucking number, man. Can it just go away? Leave me alone from time to time? So we can break that open, but before we do anything, go up here and break this. Not just so you can get this ability cell, but so that you can save yourself some time. Hey, I totally forgot about this. There's the Triforce carved into the wood there. I was joking about the freaking weird door we see over this way being the Triforce. No, it's right here. We found the Triforce, guys! We beat the game! That's so cool. This game does have some Legend of Zelda inspiration, which, I mean, I could tell that straight away with all the "you got the blank" messages. Those are, like, iconic Legend of Zelda messages. And also, Ori holds them up in the air above himself, so like, it's pretty obvious. Should probably save. Look at that coral in the background. I think that was supposed to be underwater, and we just made that no longer the case. Hang on. You see that frog in the background? I never noticed that. There's a frog just chilling in the background there. He's not blinking or anything. It's just a sprite. That's cool. Break through you. What is that up there? Oh, that was an item in the main swamp that we can now get thanks to the waters being cleared. But before that, we are sent back into the Moon Grotto, and now, does this force seem oddly shiny, or is it just me? If a log is this shiny, it's suspicious, and you should investigate. This unlocks a secret compartment with a armored pod on the opposite side of the Spirit Well. Okay, well, I guess we'll get another upgrade right now. Sure, allow Ori to use dash in the air, because that will affect something. Some abilities like that do require you to have the main ability. Like, there's an ability that requires you to have double jump later down in the tree, but those abilities don't require you to have whatever abilities that they're affected before you can get them, which makes them seem kind of confusing. That spirit-like container up there is a little hard to reach. I think I'd like to, yeah, position projectile there. Oh, barely. Okay, jump in the air so that it shoots it straight on, and then get it, and then go. Nope. Okay, shoot it there. Okay, that was pretty high. Yes, okay, so you want to bash up in the air to make it shoot the next projectile, like, up in the air towards you, and then land on the ground, and then double jump back up to it. And then you should get enough height to reach the spirit-like container. As for you, I think I'll just kill you. While we're here in Moon Grotto, there is one place we can now go down thanks to our bash ability. And I'll stop by the Spirit Well for some snacks for the road. Down here, which you can make that fun little jump in. Yeah, we can now do stuff down here. So, kill you. Drop down here, double jump out of the way of those spikes there. Get past that. Oh my god, that was a little risky of me. And now we can use your projectiles to bounce off and reach this life cell. There are a number of items we can now get with our new abilities. But before we do that, I think it's better if we save it for later and we come back to it. So, actually, there's one thing I'd like to do right now. If you notice, Ginso Tree is 99% complete, and the reason for that is that we left a little collectible there in the escape route. That's because you can get it during the escape, but every time I've tried to do it, every time I've tried to do it, I have died. So, every other little spirit-like container we got on the Ginso Tree escape, I know for a fact you can get it and still survive. This one, though, it's a little too out of the way, so I recommend saving it until later. Thanks to the Definitive Edition's fast travel feature, we can just warp right up into the Ginso Tree and go back and get it. And while we're at it, we can see that the water's flowing down. A little detail that I'm not sure how many people saw, because there's not much reason to return to the dungeons after you complete them. The little escape sequence area can be revisited, this time with a peace and serenity. No need to worry. The water is gone. Except it's not really. Also, the water is silent now. Interesting. Well, let's head back down. We did 100% this, right? Yes. We have officially 100%ed an area. It will show you what areas you have 100%ed on the map. You can also zoom out the full map and scroll over them like this to see. But yeah, so far the Ginso Tree is the only area we've 100%ed. Also, the completion meters there actually do fill up to correspond with the percentage that you have, unlike a certain other completion meter. Alright, I came back down into the Moon Grotto, and on the way to something else I was going after, I remembered this unstable ground. Be careful of the laser. It is worth noting that though these armored pods do not give count towards 100%, you do need to explore every room in an area for the game to give you 100% in that area. So, some areas like that little pocket and the other one with the armored pod we visited earlier do need to be visited in order to get 100%. So just keep that in mind. After rescuing, no. Oh, hello. I actually forgot about this. This ability cell right here. But yeah, after restoring the element of waters, the Thornfelt Swamp's theme is now permanently changed to this much happier version. I never pointed it out before, but I would actually really recommend going to listen to the regular Thornfelt Swamp theme. There we go. The theme before we get the element of waters, because it is really good, and it's also a lot longer, and has a more developed melody. Not that this one's bad, this one's great. In fact, it's the only track in the game so far that's actually, like, loud enough to hear it, unlike everything else. Okay, now I do want to climb back up this way, though, because if you remember, there was this, and now we have a passage opened back to the watery area. It is possible to open both of these with a later ability, just from one direction, but if you want to open them right now, you're going to have to stomp one from one side and then go around and stomp the other. It's a little weird, but that's how it works. This waterfall wasn't here before. It's just nice when it feels like your actions in the world mean something. And, like, the whole world changes because of that. Speaking of which, is there anything down here? Actually, no, there isn't. Cool, okay. Still can't really do anything about this locked door here. Guess we'll have to come back. Oh, I saved right in front of this guy. I didn't even know the game allowed you to do that. I guess I wasn't close enough for it to be like, no, you can't save here. You need to be protected at all costs. Decided to return to the Hollow Grove. Well, that was freaking close, Jesus. If I may talk about Kuro there for a bit. I freaking love Kuro's character design. It is so cool, but, like, also obviously evil. Like, you know exactly what type of character that is the moment you see them. And it is awesome. And they're so big, too. Like, when you face off with her at the end of the Ginso tree, you get the... Like, right there, you see just how big she is compared to Ori, and you're like, what? How are we going to restore this forest when she's around? It's so cool, man. The answer is that she isn't really that present in gameplay, but hey. Sorry, I ruined the illusion. God, you can one-shot those guys by redirecting their projectiles into them. Alright, so now by stomping that little post in the middle of the hollow tree there, I guess, you can go over here, and I don't remember what this does. I think this is an optional collectible. Okay, it is. I was thinking it was like an optional route to something special, but it wasn't. How sad. I'm not going to be doing too many optional items just yet, because I would like to progress the main quest first. I guess we'll increase strength and radius of light burst. We can just keep upgrading the purple tree, but I don't want to do that. I want to get every single upgrade equally. I don't know, I think that's cooler. There actually is something good we can do in this room. Remember this room with all the little platforms? This room was really hard to get through at the start of the game because all the water was poisonous. Now it isn't. But notice how this post is shinier. Stomp isn't like a huge... Actually, no. I was just gonna say the Stomp doesn't have much of a use other than unlocking special things, but no, it totally does. It's a great combat tool. It does a lot of damage to enemies. So I think it is a great ability with a lot of uses. There is a place we can go up. Unfortunately, we don't really have that many abilities that take us up, so I think for now we'll have to go down into the water. We've just recently unlocked that ability. I just love that. It's like, it's a unique way of unlocking the ability to swim in water. It's not like an item that lets you do it. It's a freaking thing you do in the main quest that cleans up the water and makes it swimmable. I know I've gushed about this 3 times, but it deserves being gushed about. It's awesome. More games need to do this. Especially Metroidvanias. Metroidvanias could do this so well, and yet most don't. I mean, like, Hollow Knight has the first area turn evil as you progress through the game, but that's more like a, evil is taking over, you're running out of time. It's not anything you're doing that's doing that, even though it technically is by the game's own programming. Alright, so this is a little shortcut that takes us back down into the spirit No, Sunken Glades, that's what they're called. You can only approach it from this direction because you can only shut off the lasers from that direction. I'm gonna move the Soul Link down here so we don't respawn inside of that thing. I don't think we will respawn inside of that thing. Like, the game does make sure that the enemy is dead when you respawn there. Hey, a life cell! I will take that. Now we have exactly 9. And we can stomp through this to complete the shortcut. Yeah, you can only unlock that shortcut from one side. Oh, while we're down here, what's this? A little thing? Cool. This is back in the area that connected out of Moon Grotto that plays Gumo's Hideouts theme for some reason. And here is the other energy door. Now we can actually open it. I may have been a little reckless in spending that energy. Oh, it's fine. We're not too far away from a spirit well. And look at that. I already have 2 ability points again. Oh, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. Ability cells can trigger that thing where if you get out of the water really fast, you can just, you'll see that message. Makes ability cells show up on the map. Speaking of ability cells, let's find them easier. Can we see any right off the bat? I didn't know you could open the map while falling. We can see one right there, actually on the way down to Gumo's hideout. Well, we might have to check that out. I've already gotten that. And back out to the start of the game we go. Like I said, we are not far away from a spirit well whatsoever, and this is an easy area. I'm not at all concerned. Before I get carried away and grab about 50 other optional collectibles, let's put a pause on that, because we have a new thing to see, and it is, in fact, right down here where this spirit well is. At the start of the game, you might see this wall and then think, oh man, I can't climb up it because I don't have wall jump yet. When you get wall jump, you can come back. In the original version of the game, you were awarded with an ability cell. In the definitive edition...
Ori, the statue looks familiar. I've seen it before. I remember them. Many years ago when the spirit tree was but a sprout. Naru, the young one, looked after us whenever she could.
Naru is the name of our mother figure in the intro, who unfortunately passed due to lack of food. And now, we found her original home. This is a brand new area in the definitive edition. The Blackroot Burrows. This is easily the biggest thing added to the game post-launch, I guess. I don't remember if the definitive edition came out like a year after the base game. I think it did. Because I remember Bowling Otter had upgraded their cameras to the green screen ones that they use now by then. And yeah, this area can be accessed at any moment after you get the wall jump. You can just come back and find it at any time. However, you do need a load of later abilities to get through it. And at the point in progression that I am at, I can go through the whole area, so I recommend saving until now. This first part is unfortunately, in my opinion, the worst part of the game. Because it is very dark. And you cannot see a thing in it. And I just realized that the game is bugging out there and telling me, hey, you access the ability tree from nothing? Like, I need to be in front of a Soul Link, you little idiot. Okay, I think if you want to go to the left, then there's these platforms you can jump down. And then this part, I don't know. Oh my god, there's spikes there and you can't see them. Yeah, this place isn't... This first part isn't great. I don't think it's the best design part of the game. In fact, I just said I think it's the worst. I should have saved. Can you save on these? No, you can't. On moving platforms, generally, you can't make Soul Links. But once you reach this point, it's all fine from here.
This light from the spirit tree, it was a gift from our kind. It was given to Naru, who stood by our side.
Should we tell her what happened to Naru? No. Let's not, light in the dislighten the mood. Why is that bug happening? Listen, stop it. Stop doing that bug. Okay. Press right trigger to pick up objects. There's a little orb we can carry around with us. And this orb gets rid of these. If I may show, it also gets rid of those platforms. So we can't make those jumps across that gap with this thing in hand. However, it will also reveal new invisible platforms such as these. There is a very faint glint in the darkness. You can see a third one right there to the right. Yeah, right there. And it was made into a platform once we got close enough to shine the light on it. Oh god. This is probably the most intense part of this entire area with this spider right here. But it turned out okay. I did Soul Link fairly recently, so it's not a bad thing if we die. Make the jumps carefully, kill the spider as fast as you can. Once you're here, we can save while holding this thing just fine. Unlock this, go through, and kill you. We can't jump back across there, but we can go this way. And light this torch. We can use it to light this torch. And now this will unveil a series of... That was a bad time to jump. A series of platforms across this pit. We're gonna have to jump over this projectile crossing through. I like how red those things look. We're just barely underneath them. Okay, now you want to Soul Link after that. I think this entire room is considered an unsafe zone. Or Soul Link is still charging. Okay, well, those platforms are considered an unsafe zone, so you can't save at any point throughout that. Now this part. These lasers instant kill. Just as the same as Moon Grotto. So you want to time your jumps. I think this one goes a little bit faster, I want to say. Yeah, I think it does. And this one goes even faster. Oh god. Alright, yeah, we want to begin the jump as soon as it starts firing, but not jump too soon as to kill you in the face. I just Soul Linked inside of that that little thing there, but it should be okay since we will respawn holding this thing, I think. Okay, there's this big old section. There is an item we can get out here, I think. I'm not completely sure. The intended way from here is to go up, but we can go down. There's a lot of exploration we can do here. Yes, ability cell right here. Usually I save this until after, but you can get it right now. It might be easier to save until later. You'll see why. Literally, you'll see why. It's a little on the slow side, but that's okay. I'm okay with a slow-paced area, with some slow-paced platforming. Kill you. I swear the range on this thing is higher than it normally is, but maybe I'm just going nuts. Okay, there's a locked door here with a platform there. Yeah, once you pick up this orb thing, this area is great. It's just that beginning part where you're just stumbling through the darkness and you can't at all see where spikes are that I'm not a big fan of. But once you get this light, this area is great. And it has a really cool gimmick. That's the start of the level, I'm pretty sure. So we don't want to go that... Hold on. Why not take a listen to this music real quick? The song is known as Through the Darkness, and it was added in the game after release, meaning it is not part of the main soundtrack. However, thankfully, they decided to release an additional soundtrack on Steam, at least. It's probably available other places too, and it's also completely free. So even if you don't have the game, you can get that soundtrack, and I recommend it. It's got some really good pieces in there, even if it doesn't have some of the best of the best. So, by placing the orb on that platform that wasn't moving, we were able to block this laser and climb up this way. And now we can pull this lever, which raises the almighty Naru creature out of the ground. I don't know what her species is called, okay? I don't know, big old plumpy bear? That's what I'm gonna call them. I can't help but notice I'm not getting any energy. I'm gonna move the Soul Link out of the way so that this moment is a little better. If you leave the orb somewhere, it will eventually follow you, although this time it's not really. It did, like, fly up to us while we were up by the lever, but now we found a place to put it.
Ori, look! Even though our light had grown weak in this haze, it lifted the darkness that held claim of this place.
May or may not be a reused concept. I'm so glad that the audio was actually synced properly this time. The first time I played this on PC, the audio there wasn't synced properly, and I'm not sure why. I guess the game was just running choppier than it expected to. And this time it was synced, and I'm really glad for that, because it makes that moment so much more magical.
Iki was looking for Naru, but she was gone when he came. He was swift like the wind and sprinted with haste, but surrounded by darkness, he lost his way.
Let me steal his abilities! You've learned Dash! To use it, press right bumper in order to dash into the direction you're facing. You think this is just some puny old Hollow Knight dash? Think again! We traveled like 10 meters in an instant. Look at that. It is fantastic. I love the dash. And yes, this is what the ability tree ability was referring to. This dash. We can now use this in the air. Normally, you can only use it on the ground until you unlock that ability. But since we unlocked it before picking up dash, we can now use it right away. And now, this area is fully explorable. All of these platforms are always here, so no need to carry around that light thing. I think even the ones that disappeared in the light are still around. Actually, there was a way to climb up here to get this, but how were we supposed to know? It was freaking dark. You couldn't see a thing. We're still not going down up here, but we can't really do anything else up here, so why don't we go down this way? This would be a perfect time to go get the ability cell from earlier, by the way. Hold right trigger to grab and move objects. That opens that door, and now we do have to hold this down, and it will start closing as we go. So we want to dash, use our new ability, to dash, and get past and further, and dash underneath, and there we go. Really fun. We can Soul Link right afterwards, pick up this. This lever will just open the door from this side. Got a little spirit light thing right here, and oh dear god! Oh dear god! Ori loves itself some escape sequences, doesn't it? Okay, wanna get past you, climb up here where we're out of reach. There we go. That's it. that was all there was to that. It is possible to die there, though, very much so. And you notice that how it's very shiny on the top? Stomp it. I think that is a general notification for areas that can be stomped, if they're just shiny when you stand on them, so be sure to look out for that. The shininess isn't Ori's shininess, it's the game's. I don't know where I was going with that. It opens up that door to an ability cell. Like we need more of those. And a life cell too, god. After playing Hollow Knight, it's just so weird how quickly you get upgrades in this game.
We should return here later. There is much left unknown. Down below, we may find the place they once called their home.
I'm not completely sure why that dialogue's there. My theory is it's there for people who entered before getting Stomp or before getting anything, because we do need Stomp to get through that floor right there. As you can see on the map, it's a fragile ground, as shown on the map. And so you need to come back after you get Stomp, which means you have to go do the Genso tree if you don't have it yet by this point. So I guess that's what that dialogue's there for, but it still plays even if you have Stomp, so it can seem a little weird. Mapstone fragment! Let's put it in. I don't remember where we actually picked up the Mapstone fragment. Holy. Yeah, we got a big area to get through. Oh my god, it's bigger than I remembered. This passageway takes you to an ability cell, and also Gumo's hideout. It is the ability cell that we saw on the side of Gumo's hideout. Honestly, I think I could probably go down there real quick and get those two. But I don't think I will. We got a big new area to go through here. Let's not break the pacing. Let's explore the big new area we can go through. Creating a soul link restores 2 life cells. Let's do that one. Next will be further increases length of the spirit flame. The Cinder Flame. We can be a Lord of Cinder. Now let's open this door and go back through. Get on the floor. Everyone do the I'm not near enemies. What do you mean? Oh, you're too close to enemies when that giant Minecraft slime earlier in this video wasn't... I wasn't too close to that. Lost Grove. Now, this whole area that we've unveiled on the map is known as Blackroot Burrows globally, but apparently this lower section is known as Lost Grove. So that's kind of cool. It's like a minor area within a much more major one. We want to dash through that real quick. Oh god. I might want the energy up there, but I can save it for right now. Check out that big ol' plumpy bear statue in the background. That's just my name for Naru species, okay? I don't know what they're called. I don't think... None of the species are named in this game except for Gumon and spirits. That's about it. Okay, let's save right there, and then let's... Fantastic work, Ori. Good job. You're the little hero that we all need. You're doing wonderful. Nice exercise. You're getting there. All right, let's see. Let's see what's this way. Hey, I should have dashed. Well, I think it's actually better if we go left first. Look at those evil-looking plants right there. They got red insides. I know that they're not evil just because they're red, but like, they look evil. They look all corrupted. Definitely want to save after getting past that. And now we have you. Okay, this is our first time seeing you. This guy is unkillable with regular means. You instead have to bash him into obstacles to kill him. However, most of the time, they are there for utility reasons. They are there to help you solve a puzzle or something like that. I don't really know why that one's there. In other news, we have the freaking dangerous hellish area right here. Want to dash past that. And then we need to time a stump up here really well. Can I soul link in here? No. The whole room is considered an unsafe zone. Okay, that was good. And now we can dash. That wasn't dash. That was not dashing. What the hell did I do? Oh, close. Okay. Boom. I don't know why it didn't dash. Okay. Also, another new enemy, birds that dive at you. Okay. I want to kill that one. They are really easy to dash off of. So, did I say dash off of or bash off of? I meant bash off of. So many areas we can bash to, but not enough time. There was a little statue of Naru over there, I think. I think that one actually was Naru. Not like the great horned Naru that we've been seeing. Hey, excuse me. Alright. Nothing much we could do there. There's just a big old blockade, so, to the left it is. Well, that explains why Naru had such a fondness for us spirits. I also love how the ball was freaking out there. That was unintentional, but I also think the audio was more synced there than it was on my first PC playthrough, so I guess the game was running slower while I was playing, and I just didn't notice because of how beautiful it is. That's an advantage to these beautiful graphics. When the frame rate dips, you don't even notice, because it's so awesome looking. There is a second ancestral tree down here. So, the sun could cast starlight. Even in the dark she would see.
She lived deep in this grove. Now she rests here in peace.
Okay, well, we're getting the power of the sun. That's quite a step up. You've gained Light Burst. To use this ability, either press or hold left bumper in order to cast a Light Burst. I'm not sure if the left or right bumpers had any use in the original version of Ori, because this area is brand new to Definitive Edition, both of these abilities are also exclusive to Definitive Edition. I did not need to save there at all. Light Burst is a strange but really good ability. Basically, you throw a ball of light and you can use it, you can aim it with a control stick, and you can use it to light these torches that you can see around the game. Doing so will open up areas like this. It's about the same as stomping a post into the ground, but it's a pretty cool way of doing it, and it does cost an energy to use. I think it's either half an energy or a full energy. I think it's half an energy by default. I don't know if there's any way to lower the cost, actually. I don't think there's such thing as, like, quarter of an energy, so it does cost you energy, but if you can aim it correctly, you can light some torches. I did not aim it correctly. There we go. That opens that. I think the laser is also shut off. Let's go rekindle, so I don't have to spend any extra energy. And then we will obtain these 4 right here, or 3, or however many that gives. And now we can do a lot of other things around this room, such as kill you. And while we do this, it's time for our daily listen to the music session. This game loves to do something with the music where at first when you enter an area, a piece might be like very slow and moving, but when you get the ability in it, it speeds up and becomes a lot more energetic. It doesn't happen very often, but it did happen with the Spirit Caverns. And by the way, freaking, okay, we can get another ability point tree thing. Let's increase strength of the Spirit Flame. And another track I recommend listening to highly is the Spirit Caverns theme. You didn't get any chance to hear it at all when we were actually going through it because of how quiet it plays in-game. So go listen to it. It is amazing. Now, see that there is a Spirit Light container up there in the upper right. But we can't reach there quite yet. Actually, hang on. Oh, you totally can. If you know it's there, you can dash across to it. There is another way that you can do it, but we'll save that for later. I think you can cancel the light burst throw by pressing A, by jumping. Okay, good. What just hit me? Did the shockwave hit me or something? What was that? I did not see what just hit me. All right, I want to dash across this way, and now the other thing we can use light burst for. Throw a ball up into the air, and then bash off of it. This will allow us to get extra height, allowing us to obtain items higher than we can jump. This can be used to obtain a lot of the collectibles throughout the rest of the game. Not all of them, not quite all of them, but very many of them can be obtained in this way. I should redirect your projectiles back into you. It's a much easier way to kill you. Okay, so down here, we're gonna save. I think going this way is optional, so obviously, we go there first. If you go down here before getting Light Burst, eventually you're going to run into an area where you need Light Burst to progress, so definitely go get it. First thing. Then we have you. Okay, then this. This is where you get tutorialized on this. Oh my god, look at that statue. Somehow I've never noticed that. The one in the middle looks kind of like a shy guy. Anyway. Use Light Burst, bash on Light Burst to reach greater heights. So we can bash forwards, get across to this bounce pad, and obtain another ability cell. You get so many of them in this area. What else can we unlock at this point? Like, oh, okay, we can start with this. Charge Dash allows Ori to charge dash with left trigger to attack enemies. This is a special function of the dash that lets you, hold down left trigger and then dash, and that's an attack. It's pretty cool. I've never used it though, so don't expect to see much demonstration of it. I'm sure it's pretty good, but I don't use it that often. Okay, we want for it to disappear, and then boop, 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 and we're back. I learned. No, I didn't. I didn't aim it properly. I learned, but I didn't aim it properly. It's usually what happens in games with ranged combat. I learned the thing, but I didn't aim properly, so it didn't matter anyway that I learned. I had a little bubble around myself while I was aiming that bash. What was that about? Okay, this part's a little tricky. I definitely recommend saving and then grabbing the crystal up there so that you have full energy for this. Because we need to kill that enemy on the other side with a light burst. Light bursts can also attack enemies. Light bursts can just do everything, I guess. Okay. I don't remember the exact position you want to be in. I think this is a good position. If I run out of energy, I could just die and respawn. So it's not a big deal whatsoever. Oh, come on. Okay, wait. Maybe get closer and do this? No, that was less effective. Okay, stand here. That was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. How about that? I like how the whole screen flashed to that one's explosion. How about that? There we go. Okay, now do another one aimed in exactly the same spot. Thankfully, the game will save where you aimed the last light burst, so you can easily get a second one to finish it off and kill it. It's a weird puzzle, but I like it. It's weird. Because it's weird. What's your reward? Oh my god, we're gonna get fully upgraded by next video, I swear. I also get a ton of energy, so I might as well save and continue further down. I do like this area a lot. It has a unique kind of style. It does look visually distinct from the other areas in the game. It looks kind of similar to Moon Grotto, but it's got its own thing going on with all the red mushrooms and whatnot. Also, I don't use dash in combat nearly as much as I should. Okay, after our audio got crapped out by that thing, let me see what we have here. So you can step on this, and that opens that, which we can throw a light burst into. You have to be standing on this platform in order to light burst into here. We will need to use a couple of light bursts to get those funguses out of our way. After that, open that, and that opens the door to progress. You know, open the torch to open the door to progress. I remember thinking it was so weird when I learned that technically opening a switch is what you do when you're turning a light switch on, like you're opening and closing a switch to allow currents through. That gave me 2, man, I didn't expect that. Okay, this next room's a room full of enemies, and we gotta kill them. Okay, we can bash off of the birds to get greater height so we can kill these slimes up here, double jump at the right times, and I just wiped the floor with them. Wiped the floor with them never sounds correct to me, and I don't know why. Another thing we can do is not use Soul Link near enemies, but we can also light burst those slimes up there. The game will have a little bit of auto aim when we try to do so. They will retaliate every time we do so, every time we hit them. But we can indeed use light burst to kill them if we want, or we could just, you know, do this. Those slimes there demonstrate a special kind of property with those types of slimes, where if they're on a ceiling, they rain down their projectiles one at a time. Anyway, the real thing we want to do in here is light burst that. I don't know how strong the light burst is without the upgrade you get from the ability tree, so unfortunately I can't show it because we didn't see that. And now. Welcome to the bottom of the Lost Grove. Not quite what you expected, is it? This is the deepest point in the entire map, by the way. And, man, can I just say, this is one of the most beautiful areas I have ever seen in a video game. I think I have played another certain game that tops this area in terms of prettiness, but holy crap. You spend all that time descending through the Blackroot Burrows, and when you get down to the bottom, you're greeted with a sunny lake. Kinda... I remember there being a beach here, but I guess there isn't. I mean, there is sand down here somewhere, but it's not really a beach. It's just a very sunny lake. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it is awesome, and it makes this world feel like so magical, because like, you expect to see a giant open cave or maybe a lava areas, that's what games like this usually do, but instead there's this. Oh, and the music here is excellent. I'll give you time to listen to it in a bit. For now, this is actually the second and probably required tutorial on how to use a bash on light bursts. I don't need that, so we'll go past. This pressure plate turns off the laser, which we can then send a light burst through, as I believe the light burst will die to the laser, so, that's not what I wanted. Get back up there! Oh, okay. I tried to bash it, it did not work. There we go, and that opens that. Even though that was more or less intended for charge flame. I wonder if those can open the charge flame doors, the light bursts. That'd be kind of cool. Now we can use another one here to get across over here. It is so cool. The light burst opens up so many possibilities and jumps. Combined with Bash, of course. And now, as promised, here is the third round of Listen to This Game's Music. It's so cool how all three of the tracks that play in this area are absolutely amazing. For different reasons. They all have different vibes, and I love them for that. There's some extra stuff to find out here, but first, into the left we go. That's the theme of this video, just going left whenever we can.
Though they are gone from our forest, there is no time to grieve. Remember those who have passed, and they will forever live on.
Jeez, okay. Ori, they're dead, get over it. Okay, then. I guess that's his body right there. I never fully realized, but that's what it looks like after rotted away, because those are the plants that she placed on him. That's good, attention to detail. So Naru had basically the same thing happen to her as what happened to us. Circle of life, I guess. I also love all the dream catchers and the little decorations. And I also love how the audio was on sync in that cutscene. Yeah, the game was definitely running slower when I was playing it the first time. And I just didn't notice. May have been the same performance hitches that happened to me in Dark Souls 3, which haven't reared their head so far this playthrough, and I'm very glad for that. There's a semi-hidden spirit well back here, and this is why I remember this area being a sunny beach, because it is a beach back here. Also, there's yet more like beds and statues and dream catchers and little ornaments. We're not fully done down here. There is one more thing I'd like to get, and then there is one more thing I would like to get up above somewhere. And then we should be good for this video, because we have been going for an hour. And by the way, because I'm probably never going to mention it again, I may as well bring attention to the ability we bought, the Spirit Light Efficiency. an ability so forgettable, not only did I not mention it, but I always forget that it's in the game. But yeah, I guess we get more spirit light from things now. Cool. That's a good ability, but I don't even notice it because, like, the spirit light you need to get ability points later in the game becomes so high that it's hard to tell that you can even, that you're even getting anymore. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, I might as well make the swim back out easier on us by unlocking Water Breath. Allows Ori to breathe in clean water. I like how they have to specify that in case you get all the way to this ability at the start of the game. Also, because some of these abilities like Air Dash, I believe this, Ultra Light Burst, and Charge Dash were added in the Definitive Edition, the ability tree did look slightly different in the original version. I think this was the last ability on this branch and not this. So, anyway, with that, should be almost done. Yeah, 99% of the Blackroot Burrows. Where could the last thing be? Well, if we scan back up to the top, the original Blackroot Burrows, right there. I wish I could bring out a crosshair to show, but there is a grayer area right at the center of the screen. Also, there's a map legend. I may as well show this because I'm probably never going to show it again. I like how it shows life cells and energy cells look like, even though we haven't unlocked the ability to see those yet. Cool, thanks, game. That map legend is very optimistic. It's like, you're gonna be able to see them eventually, not doing that. But yeah, now we can just wait here as long as we want before going through. No need to worry about running out of air. It's funny how the episode that we introduced swimming in, we unlocked the ability to breathe forever underwater by the end. That is just how fast you get upgrades in this game. Which isn't too far off from a standard Metroidvania, like, I think back to Super Metroid or AM2R, and in those games you are constantly getting new upgrades about the same rate as this game. It's just, I'm used to Hollow Knight where it's much slower. I don't know if I really prefer one or the others, because I know, like, some people might prefer getting abilities and upgrades this fast. I do like the slower pacing of Hollow Knight, but also I'm perfectly okay with this pacing. Because, like, in Hollow Knight, I feel like there's a lot more time to stick around and appreciate the world and admire everything as you slowly venture through all of it. Whereas in games like this, it's more about getting to the end. Although there is a bit of world exploration there. I don't really know what I'm saying. The basic thing is, like, I don't really mind the faster or slower pace either way. Okay, back up here, there is one more area we can go to now that we have Light Burst. Where is it? Okay, it's over here. I always forget where it is exactly. Right here, right? Yep. Right above the... Sorry, hiccuping. Right above the Ancestral Tree. Light Burst, Leap Up, and Armored Pod. It itself does not give you 100%, but visiting this little pocket will. And that is our second area 100%ed. This is the first dungeon in the game that we were able to fully clear out in one visit, which I definitely like. To end this video, I'm going to return to the Spirit Well down below, because we're going to pick up from there for the next video. And that will be all for this time. Next time on Ori and the Blind Forest, it's time to backtrack and collect a bunch of things around the main map that we can now acquire with our abilities. And then we make some forward progress into the next area towards the Misty Woods. Thank you all for watching, if you did, and as always, I will see you all in the future.